Ladies and gentlemen. So, Arknights CN just released the latest main story, episode 15. And along with it, we also get some new operators added to the game. And in this video, I will show you what the new 6-star can do. Okay, as most already know, the new 6-star is Mon3tr. Yes, that one Cal-C summon. Mon3tr is our first ever 6-star chain medic. Think of them as chain caster, that instead of killing enemies, they heal your operators. Their heal can chain, or bounce between 3 nearby units, giving them the multi-target healing capability. And most noticeably, healing a unit that is outside of their range. But like in the case of chain caster, the downside of this healing bounce is that each bounce will reduce the healing amount. And by the way, as you can see, other than healing, Mon3tr also specializes in support, and quite surprisingly, DPS. We have yet another harm assist on the team. Moving on, let's see her talents. With her talent 1, Mon3tr is able to deploy what is currently known as reconstruct in her range, but only to the ground tile. This thing will provide an attack buff to anyone that is around it. Not only that, it serves as a healing target. For example, in this case, Mon3tr is unable to heal Fuse because he's outside of her range. She can heal him by bouncing the healing from Ella or Stainless, but she's unable to do that because they are in full health. This is where the reconstruct comes in handy, because of the fact it will slowly lose HP. Mon3tr will always heal it, and you can use that to your advantage to heal operator outside of her range, just like Fuse here. Additionally, when it is healed, the reconstruct will perform an additional heal without any healing reduction. By the way, this thing can be attacked by enemies, but I believe it has lower aggro than most units. As for her talent 2, which is interestingly unlocked at Elite 1, Mon3tr will give attack speed buff to herself and the target she healed. And considering her attack speed and the buff duration, it's safe to say the buff will always present as long as Mon3tr keep healing the target. The buff should be indicated by that floating crystal around the operator's body, though I'm not sure why it does not appear on Mon3tr. And by the way, this attack speed bonus should be more apparent when using Mon3tr skill 2. Now let's see her skills. Mon3tr skill 1 will increase the amount of her next heal, and it can bounce 1 extra time. A pretty good AFK healing skill, I suppose. And yes, this is an offensive recovery skill. In fact, all of her skills are offensive recovery, which is a problem. But this problem is mitigated with the fact that Mon3tr can use her reconstruct. Not to mention if you bring an SP battery like Stainless, Blitzcom, or maybe a specific buff like those in IS mode. For skill 2, Mon3tr will now only focus on healing that green rock, but that rock will now perform a chain heal. And this skill also increases the effect of her talent 2, giving about plus 50 attack speed, which is big. Chances are if you're planning to use Mon3tr for her healing and support, this skill is your best pick. Last but not least, her skill 3. The embodiment of I'll do it myself. Mon3tr will move to the reconstruct position and start throwing hands, gaining the reconstruct range, various buffs, and most importantly, her attack deals true damage, allowing her to basically ignore all kinds of defense mechanism, like the usual defense and resistance. And other mechanics like dodge or shield. The noticeable downside of this skill is that Mon3tr will constantly lose HP. But even without help, the HP loss is pretty much just a minor inconvenience. Not to mention, Mon3tr can actually heal herself whenever she attacks. And from what I see, if Mon3tr got defeated during this melee unit form, she won't get retreated, and instead will return to her original tile, albeit being one step away from death. The SP cost is also the same as her skill 2, which isn't necessarily a problem, even when considering it's an offensive recovery. Probably the only real downside I've seen with this skill so far is that when Mon3tr moves, the game will recognize her as the recently deployed unit, which makes the enemy ranged unit instantly target her. It's not really a problem for her melee form, however, it sure is for her default.
My leg!
But overall, it's manageable, and it's still a great skill. So ladies and gentlemen, that is Mon3tr. What do you think? Overall, I think she is a great operator that can provide healing and support, and another harm assist in the game that is also another source of reliable true damage. I definitely recommend you save her, and considering she seems to have an even more important role in Arknights in the upcoming story, it's another plus to get her. That should be all. Adios.